Hello YouTube, welcome to episodes 3 and 4 of the Otorimonogatari reaction series, that being a smaller part of the Monogatari second season reaction series. I have returned with more Monogatari and I hope you are as excited as I am, because we're going to finish Otorimonogatari. Last week was really good, hopefully we continue being really good this week. I can't imagine it won't be. The setup's really good. Just right off the bat, I hit 400 subscribers this morning, which is pretty exciting. I don't know if it's a big milestone, but it feels good for me. I mean, I've been making these videos for like 7 months or something now, so there's a little bit of an audience here. I see the same people popping up every now and again, and it's pretty cool. So cheers for that, everybody. Thank you for your support. Also, if you haven't subscribed already, click that button. Also that bell. Smash that bell. See, I can do the YouTube thing. Either way, without any further ado, because I've written way too much again, we're going to hop into the comments summary and see what you guys had to say about last week's 2 episodes, and there was a lot to say. So first kind of idea, and something that I've seen echoed a couple of times now, which is Otorimonogatari is peak Monogatari. It feels like it so far. It's really good. All of second season has been really good, actually, so I'm keen to see what makes this arc stand out even among those. I think we're going to go a step higher and higher again in episodes 3 and 4. But we will see. Lots of people have brought this up, but the one I wrote down was Dharma and Mansya with that point. There's lots of very complicated stuff with Kanji, and Nisio Asin, he's back on his bullshit, so I'm going to break it down a little bit. I may put up a visual thing here if I'm clever in editing. I don't know if I'll remember. So, there's the character for Bake, which we've seen, you know, in Bakemonogatari, and also Bakemono, which is using similar characters, I would imagine. So Bake means to change / transform, which can be applied to a lot of Bakemonogatari, but also Bakemono means monster. So again, it's a pun like Nisio Asin likes to do. But also they're twisting this pun again with Otorimonogatari. So Otori, which is literally a box around the character for Bake, so think about that. And that means decoy. So it means illusion, delusion maybe, you could say. There's some implication about Nadeko having a similar looking kanji in her name as well. So again, that's another link. Literally trapped in a box. Like, think about it. We've boxed in a certain delusion of what we think Nadeko looks at. Like a picture frame, right? This is a picture of what Nadeko looks like right now to our eye, having consumed the text so far, but maybe that wasn't what it seemed. Maybe she's putting on this cute little delusion, something like that. Maybe there's more than meets the eye. Somebody isn't truly a victim all the time. All these ideas that have come through in Monogatari so far, and in Otorimonogatari so far specifically. So lots to think about there as it relates to the kanji of the names and that kind of thing. Kasamori with those points there, but MC Steve also added a little bit as well. I like these, just some clarifications of the past from various people. I think I've got Alexander Dunkelheit, Simon, and Gian Bueno here. So the snake curse from the friend was out of jealousy of being confessed to by the person that she liked, I think. So it was Nadeko's friend, she likes Boy, Boy confesses to Nadeko instead. Nadeko rejects Boy because she likes Araragi, so take that how you will. So one snake curse, one of the constrictor curses was from the friend, and the other one was from the confessor, if that makes any sense. But I have some ideas about that later. I think I'll write about them later. Yes, I do. I'll talk about them in a second. Another point here is that Nadeko knows about Shinobu in that they were kind of setting up at the cram school for the night during Nadeko Snake. And Shinobu was there. She was staring down Nadeko because it was like the 4th girl or 5th girl that he'd brought back to the cram school this like month, or these like 2 months. So Shinobu's like, what gives, basically. It's a big setup for her running away in the next arc in Tsubasa Cat. So Nadeko knows that Shinobu exists. I don't know if Nadeko knew about the relationship that Araragi and Shinobu had. So the whole vampire thing, the whole living in his shadow thing, the whole shared senses thing, I think these are all surprises to her in that scene at the end of 2nd episode of Otorimonogatari. So again, we'll see if this is relevant at all. It's more just nitpicky stuff. So we'll see. It really doesn't matter. Cochin51 and MC Steve said something that has never happened before. I'm actually on point about some stuff, apparently, without going into details at all, because thank you for not going into details. So it's kind of left me in a bit of a lurch. Like, I'm correct. That never happens. I just kind of say stuff and hope it sticks. I mean, that's kind of selling myself short. I do get some stuff. I like to think I do. But normally it's very obvious stuff. Apparently I've gotten some stuff that wasn't so obvious. We don't know who to credit. If it's either me being good for once, or if it's the show being really good at displaying its ideas from an early point of view. And Monogatari as a whole being really good at telling its ideas, and then those ideas coming back in interesting ways and twisting them, and yeah, there's lots of stuff going on there. I'm going to lean towards it's the show, because in Symphogear recently, I missed a bunch of stuff on the Friday recording session, like a ton of very important stuff, and made a lot of wrong decisions. So, and Symphogear is probably more easy to understand than Monogatari. So yeah, it was like, I don't know, what's the broken clocks right twice a day type situation, I think. So one of the major differences of the perspective shift, something that I really failed to talk about last week in as much detail as I wanted to, considering it was a point of view shift. There's no real Araragi other than this real savior figure backlit by light, like saving Nadeko, that kind of thing. The object of her desire, but something that she cannot attain, something like that. But we're in Nadeko's perspective now, and things have changed. One of the most notable things is we see randos on the street, kind of. So we see people in the classroom. So again, Araragi doesn't see these people. It's a pretty obvious thing throughout the show. It's something that I've noted a couple times. More than a couple times, like a lot of times. Instead, we get these silhouettes, unidentifiable, no eye contact, a little bit of a silent voice in there maybe from Nadeko, like failure to actually look up at people and see what they're actually thinking, like, again, something like that. So you can link this maybe into a little bit of the averting your eyes idea from Hanakawa, kind of similar to this in any case, anyways type thing that she has going on as well. And again, I talk about this a little bit later as well, so I'll leave it. But Gian Bueno with that point. Gian Bueno, I'm also just going to read his second point verbatim because I thought it was really good. And about Kaiki's charms, they were actually fake, but what they did do was stir everything and bring people's emotions they kept hidden out to surface. By trying to use a charm of love, people would find out who you like. By trying to curse someone, people would find out that you cultivate hatred towards someone else, etc. Nadeko was just unlucky, a true victim. She didn't go get one of these charms herself. In that way, she is the true innocent one in class as well, and hence chosen for the class president. I said I was going to read this verbatim, I didn't, sorry, I'm going to go back to the comment. Oshino says back in Bake that they would have never activated, in fact didn't for many middle schoolers in town, but Nadeko, being scared after being cursed by her classmate, panicked and started looking for ways of breaking the spell. Her doing the ritual the wrong way and doing it in the shrine that gathers aberrations is what caused it to activate. This is not very stressed in the anime, but Oshino remarks a few times in the book during Nadeko Snake how he hates people that play the victim, but Sengoku is actually just a victim, but always with his smirky undertone of he knows everything that's going on because he's a Nishio Sin character. Cool, so there's some interesting ideas there. It's also very bright now that I've got my text document open again. One, she kind of panicked and caused the problem in Nadeko Snake herself. I didn't realize this in the moment. And then we can reinterpret something about Araragi sending the curse back to its predecessor, back to the person that cast it, in that he just literally like cursed two random people that they didn't do nothing wrong, but they didn't actually curse her. You know what I mean? She cursed herself. In that way, I guess that she's a pure victim, but also, okay, here's an interesting point, and something that I think I discussed later, but I'll just skip it then. The thing is, she can't make decisions. Right? She can't have opinions, similar to Hanakawa, in that she doesn't want to offend anybody, she doesn't want to become anybody's hero by holding an opinion, she doesn't want to become anyone's villain by holding an opinion. She'll always dodge the subject, dodge conflict, and move on to something else. That's her little vocal tick there, the little linking words that she uses. The thing that the confession did by the guy and the friend, it forced a conflict upon her. It forced a decision out of her, and the one time that she actually went and made such a decision is the one time that she thought she ended up really hurt and scared and haunted by this aberration, right? This is probably contributing to her whole thing, her whole complex about not holding such opinions and just doubling down on that kind of thing, just looking cute, playing the victim, getting past life instead of participating in it. The one time she's forced to make a decision, she gets doted on by Araragi as well. So again, there's pluses and minuses to it, but she's not inclined to make such decisions twice, I think. Again, that's reading a lot into it, but I think it's a really interesting point and something that I hope we explore. Gian Bueno also has another couple little points here. Apparently the Western fans hate Nadeko. Like, I don't know how you can hate any Monogatari character, really. They're all pretty cool. Even Kaiki, which I have lamented in the past, I've come around on a little bit. He's at least very interesting if I find his shtick a little bit annoying. and a little very Nisio Sin, like, oh, I know all the answers, ooh, you know, that kind of vibe. The second point here is that Kana Hanazawa is incredible. Her VA work on Nadeko is really great. I can't help but agree, just the little vocal things she does, the little ways she humanizes the character, makes her seem like somebody real. I've noted a couple times very conversational in her own mind, like she's talking back and forth. Again, with the snake that could also be part of her own mind. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in there, and I think Kana Hanazawa does a great job of bringing it to life. Big long old point here from Nathaniel and MC Steve, kind of combining some ideas again. Some stuff I've talked about already, I might skip over some stuff, but in any case, or anyways, these kind of linking phrases I've talked about, is similar to Averting Your Eyes theme from Hanakawa. If you see something you don't like, just ignore it. Can we relate this to how Sengoku pretends not to see all these important people to Araragi? So she still thinks she has a chance with Araragi, when in reality, us the audience, having seen everything that Araragi sees, she's like dead last by a long way. It's like, it's Senjo, and then it's like Hanakawa, and then it's Shinobu, and then it's like even the child. Throw the child in there in Hachikuji. Kambaru doesn't seem interested, considering she likes girls. But yeah, if you're losing to somebody that doesn't even find Araragi attractive as a man, then that's pretty bad, especially in the whole screen time thing. That's the whole meta thing going on here as well. So she may see Araragi really doting after somebody that he likes, and she just chooses not to see that. In any case, anyways, that kind of thing, just saying these linking phrases to get away from that point. True victims are rare in Monogatari. Think about it. Senjogahara wanted the crab to take things from her, Hanakawa was separating her negative emotions from herself, and Nadeko Snake, the one time Sengoku actually got hurt was when she did express an actual opinion, what I said before. So nobody's ever the true victim. If you're a true victim, you're the true neutral, always looking cute, always looking to be saved, then nothing bad happens to you. But she still got an aberration, didn't she? Think about it. Nobody's truly innocent. So we'll find out more about that later on. MC Steve implied that this whole thing is very meta in Nadeko's actual treatment by the novels and the audiences and that kind of thing. Again, I just thought that she was random cute girl in Bake. That's why I didn't really like her that much. And that's why Nadeko Snake gets its meaning from being an Araragi arc instead. Nadeko's just fine. She's whatever. And in comparison to the characters we saw already in Senjo, Hachikuji, and Kambaru, as well as Hanakawa brewing in the background, she is dead last. This is the first real Sengoku arc, the first real Nadeko arc, you know? MC Steve also implies that the linking feelings thing with Shinobu has been going on for a while, so I'll just read his examples here. She notes that Araragi woke her up because he was in a panic from Karen being missing. His brawl with Karen was unpleasant too. She asks if he wants assistance with this, in that, hey, I'll help you because this is hurting me physically as well. Kabuki also goes into this, but it isn't as adapted. She notes that she has a weird romantic attraction to Senjogahara that isn't natural, and that she wants to do things to Hachikuji in the similar way to Araragi. So again, linking feelings, pain, pleasure, and everything in between Shinobu and Araragi. So it was a bit of a mouthful, but going on to the recap now, we open with Nadeko monologue about the things that she likes, or the things about her that we should note. She notes that she likes Araragi the most. You know, it's the last thing she says. We flash forward to the end, ? Of the arc. Nadeko has snake hair, and Araragi tries to kill her, tries to exterminate her, as she tries to kill him. We flash back to October 31st. I've got my little timeline open, ready to go as well, which is good. Nadeko visits Orgi, or Orgi visits Nadeko, I should say, and is kind of weird about it. Orgi is weird. She knows things that she shouldn't know, and it's strange. Nadeko starts seeing snakes in random places after this encounter. I'm wondering if Orgi has something to do with it. Just even a shift in her brain of seeing things differently. Either way, an important thing to note is there's a depressive atmosphere in class as she goes to school as well, and she laments going to school because of it. She calls Araragi about seeing snakes everywhere, and they agree to meet up and talk about it, but it's kind of awkward in that he's going to bring Shinobu, and then she says that she's looking forward to it, even though it's an aberration. Again, it's awkward, it's funny. The snake starts talking to her and gets her to go to the shrine first. So instead of going to Araragi, she goes to the shrine. She gets guilted into following this snake's things, whatever it wants her to do. We flash forward a little bit to that night. Nadeko calls Araragi and says that it's fine and that she doesn't need help anymore and that it went away. The snake says that they need to find his real body. He was a worshipped deity at that shrine from way back, and his body's buried somewhere. He's losing power because of basically time decay and that kind of thing. But Kishot bringing back the power to that shrine is very important to him sustaining himself, but even that's running out. He needs his body. It's all very convoluted, but yeah, the body's important for the snake to perpetuate. So the snake follows her to school, is kind of manifested by this weird scrunchie around her wrist, and comments on various things about her day. Why the class is weird, how she uses these in any case, anyways type speech to get out of conflict, how she's the class president and she doesn't really fit the class president mold, how she's being kind of manipulated by the teacher to solve this problem for him, how even the concept of schooling is a little bit strange to the snake. Either way, Nadeko tells the snake to shut up and go away. Again, it's bringing forward conflict and she's avoiding it, and tell it to shut up, I'll talk to you at night, and he shuts up, and they flash forward to night. She goes and she plays in the sand for a little bit because she thinks that the body's buried in the sand pit because the snake says so, and then she's found by Araragi. So she's just been playing in the sand like a child, which is funny. Araragi takes her back to his place, and she falls into her old traps a little bit, how she acts around Araragi. She's very flustered and that kind of thing, and just listens to what he says, plays the unknowing victim, and lets him dote over her, essentially. Araragi really picks up on this because he gets super horny and then is vampire punched out of existence, and then Shinobu proceeds to kind of bully Nadeko for a little bit, bringing up this idea of being cute and that being devilish in some way. And I guess this is a good kind of jumping off point to my new segment, something that I'm doing in Serial Experiments Lain at the moment, which is my ideas segment. More just things to remember that have been brought up as concepts that may be relevant overall to this arc. So I've got cute equals devilish, so there's some veneer to the whole cuteness, you know what I mean? I've got victim, hero, villain scale, so she's a victim, she's in the middle, she could choose hero, she could choose villain. I don't know what she's going to... Well, actually, I do know what she's going to choose. She's going to choose villain. But maybe she doesn't choose it. Maybe she falls into it. Again, we're going to see. I guess it's an idea of a victim is somebody that gets doted over by Araragi, and a hero is somebody that gets to stand beside him, like a Shinobu, right? This idea of strawberries keeps coming up visually as well. We got that black and white scene with the red strawberries. We got the start of episode 2 when she's on the phone, strawberries in the foreground. I guess it's like a cute fruit, but still blood red, very sweet, but can be sour. I don't know. Food metaphors are hard, and they're kind of fraught anyway. But I think the strawberry fits Nadeko quite well at the moment. Red eyes later, something in that maybe. Is the snake really an aberration, or is it just part of Nadeko? Is it something that she's willingly looking at now that she's stopped averting her eyes from being the victim and started looking at stuff? Something that Augie has said. She starts seeing these snakes. She starts seeing this side of herself. I think that's an idea we'll follow going forward. POV stuff, eye contact, shaded classmates, all sort of Nadeko's things in her arc. The differences from Araragi to here. The idea of delusion, the idea of decoy, the idea of obfuscating something, I guess, hiding something from someone else. Keep that in mind as it pertains to the kanji and Nadeko as a whole. Has she been putting on a bit of a mask? And probably a whole bunch more stuff that I'm missing that I've forgotten from last week that I'll bring up in turn when it becomes relevant. Predictions, episode 3. I think things will go bad, like real bad. Like, this is our corruption start, you know what I mean? This is our, what's the one in Fate? You know, Fate, Heaven's Feel. It's gonna be that type of vibe, I reckon. I think we'll get our resolution-y stuff in episode 4. I imagine there's going to be some kind of long-term consequences to the things that have gone on. I think that this will have far-reaching and very relevant consequences going forward in Monogatari. It's also weird because it's a time jump forward. So, there's still a bunch of stuff we need to fill in between, like, August 20-something than August 24th. So, we'll see how that manifests as well. I think that they will find the body, and it'll be some kind of larger metaphor for Nadeko's situation as a whole, i.e. something like she digs up the corpse and it's her own corpse or something. It was you all along, not this 1,000-year-old snake thing telling you to do things, it was just you. Maybe there is no corpse, something like that. Either way, I think that's a good enough jumping off point to start actually watching the episode. So, Otorimonogatari Episode 3 upcoming. Just shill stuff first. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Let's get us to 500, I guess. Onward and upward to 500. Woo! Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I can do to improve, stuff like that. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like to follow me back. And the Discord. Join the Discord. Love the Discord. Comment on random things on the Discord. Request new shows on the Discord. That kind of thing. And yeah, gonna jump into episode 3 of Otorimonogatari right now. Rightio, got episode 3 of Otorimonogatari up here ready to go. Let me pop that up on screen. 25 minutes and 17 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly. As always, there will be a picture-in-picture in the description below. Just gonna give it a 3, 2, 1. Rightio? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Yeah? You sleeping with the sisters? Oh yeah, you seemingly have some kind of relationship with Thingo, right? Yeah. I forgot about this, right? Okay, sure. Yo, I'm losing to the sisters as well. My brain's finally working, okay. That is most certainly what he did. It's most certainly what he's doing, yes. I would never call Araragi a gentleman. Cute face. I don't want to be just cute. If you're looking down, I can't see your cute face. Huh. Yeah? My head even lower. But now it's just looking like you're bashful, not the other thing. Yeah, but Shinobu said this is a bad thing last night. Just stay being the person doted over by Araragi. Don't become his equal. Right after me. Similar to Shinobu. How you looked outside is why she approached you. You're still weird. Great. Oh yeah, always apologizing, and she's bro, she's like looking at it, she's taking it on. Averting eyes still. Eyes over that way. Oh. Say what? Yes, Shinobu. Technically she's a vampire. Ooh, Danganronpa eyes. Yeah, I guess. I wouldn't say that. She always looks, tasteless scrunchy? It's her aesthetic. I'd say she dresses quite well. Everybody in Monogatari does. What's the advice? All you are is cute. Why is everyone so mean to her? Oh. Is that what he said? Like way back? Yes. Do you have proof? Like this, like Sherlock. Or like a police investigation, actually. It was way, way back. I remember there was something in Nadeko Snake where he spoke, but we didn't get to hear it. Whoa, what is this? The Ring? No, it's romantic. Lover? This is so interesting if a lot of this is perspective based, right? I'm going to talk about that a lot. Okay. Yeah, did you know that? That was another question of mine, actually. Okay, some time to talk a little bit, I guess. I think. I'm still looking at the opening. A lot of that is confrontatory because it's Nadeko's perspective. So in reality, Tsukihi isn't actually like looking terrible and horrible and horrific, right? It's just asking her uncomfortable questions that she can't escape from, saying, I'm sorry, or something like that, right? Again, forcing her to confront something. And then in revealing such feelings, she gets an actual answer to that, hey, he has a girlfriend, you know. Because the whole, okay, so I was still in the headspace that this was between like August 21st and August 24th. So Senjougahara would be preoccupied with Hanakawa, but that isn't the case. Senjougahara should still be around somewhere. I was wondering if she's going to have any impact on this. Like comparing the outwardly super self-confident Senjougahara with the meek and very cutesy Nadeko. It'd be an interesting comparison, I believe. Like, do they get any lines with each other? Like, she would have some choice words for her, for sure. I've also forgotten this whole Medusa idea as well. Time stood still. Oh, did she know when she was averting her eyes? Okay. You do. Yeah, very interesting editing there, actually. Hanakawa. Okay. During September. Oh, people have unrequited feelings all the time, but you choosing to ignore it is different. You're right, you couldn't. You have no chance. Hmm. Yeah, because she can't. Yeah, you're very removed. He's like an idol. Hero from a manga? Yeah, you're not beside him. You're just a victim. Acquiescent. Pretend you don't know. What's on the wall? It's a weird kind of status quo. Ooh, it's actually used as a yo. Yeah, but that's the problem. Well, continue being cute. Continue just being in love with him. Continue doing what you've always done. The same thing will happen, you know? Yeah. She's buying lottery tickets on her dreams. It's true, don't buy lottery tickets, everybody. Yeah, the perspective stuff with Tsukihi is very important here. Whoa! Look at Senjo vibe. Oh, I'm gonna stop you averting your eyes by cutting your bangs. Take that. Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. She's got that um Yui Hirasawa look. What happened then? I'm totally gonna get up the picture of Yui, definitely. From Bangs Girl to Snake Girl, huh? No longer Bangs Girl, are you? Oh, everyone heard. Oh no! Oh, how awkward. What are all these characters on the walls? Wish they were translated. I guess you can't really. A girl I've never seen before. Oh, her. It's a reflection. Hmm. Offered with a return to the status quo. Oh, no, further motivation. Okay. I imagine you will find it tonight, actually. Okay. Whatever you say. I still wonder if they know about the scrunchie being the thinger. Oh, it's this guy again. Weird. I actually like her hair better there. It's been like 24 hours. Oh, you can actually see his head now. It's the hair. The hair changes everything. Okay. Like I usually do. I'll start off with an apology. Whoa! But she's right! Based! Whoa. The VA work there too is great. Or the music. Oh, and everyone's looking, but we don't care. Great. Whoa. No, shut up. Why has this school got a big mirror wall? No, you were being scummy though. Yeah, get him. Get him, Sengoku. Bro, the haircut changes everything. Literal character development haircut. Oh, the hair! Yo, that was actually sick. Yo, she popped off. I'm not even gonna lie. I yelled. Yeah, get over it. Get over it, school children. Whoa. It's weird, right? Because in the end, she's framed as a villain. So what happens? Because right now, she's just like being assertive. Everyone's at the back of the classroom, too. Ooh, you're talking to yourself a little bit? Hmm. Big kick. Yeah, guilt him into it. Great. Daikurai again, by the way. Okay. Are we going to talk about that? Oh, the voice is back. The walk to school was fun. Everything's changed. Yeah, no. It was you. The same way that I think the snake is you as well. Yeah, in the form of the hair. Yes. It wasn't the aberration. She wasn't the victim. It was actually her. It wasn't a weird, like, corruption thing. What do you mean? It's also your fault. Okay. Let's go do it. Even during the day. In pure daylight. Hmm. Okay, sure. I don't think it's going to be that easy, though. Okay. Why didn't we grab it earlier? Is she just, like, going into their house where they're at school? Because it has something to do with you, silly. I wonder if that's even real. He probably wears a Hawaiian shirt. Ha ha ha. I wouldn't go under that dude's bed. You don't know what's in there. It certainly does. Yeah, because you don't want to exert the energy. Yeah, it's a defense mechanism. Yeah, you're right. You don't see him on a level, right? What'd you find? Yeah, he's horny. I don't know if you guys had heard. Maybe. No, I think it's there falling out of the sky. Yeah, there it is. We found it. Oh, I love this song. This is one of my favorite songs. Yeah, give the snake the bookmark, quick. You sure? I think she'll end up with snake hair. If you have any other wishes, I'll grant them. What's the wish gonna be? What is it that I want? I want our feelings to become mutual. I wonder how the interpretation there is in Japanese. Oh. Yo. Gotcha, bitch. I'm like, wait, is that Araragi talking? Oh shit, it is. Well, that probably contributes poorly to what happens, but it's forcing her to face what's actually going on. Sorry, I don't like you the way you like me. Sorry. Please don't turn into like a weirdo snake person. That was great. It was a great episode. Not quite as dire as I thought we would go. Maybe that's next episode again. But we're being very realistic about it. Again, she's not a victim. It's all very matter of fact, you know? She can't be seen to be the person being corrupted by this snake because the snake is her. It's all her. She says so much herself, right? Is that in the ED? Is that Shinobu? Like driving the ship, but she's stuck as a passenger? Is there something in that maybe? Yeah, it's really she's content with keeping the status quo because it's harder to move on. It's harder to confront things. So she's keeping it the same way it's been kept for years and years and years. And then this is where she's finally actually doing something about it. I think we're going to stop here. Yeah. Rightio, going to jump into a little bit of analysis on episode 3 of Otorimonogatari right now. I don't know, it's something weird with my setup today. I'm looking very... I guess the screen's blue right now, but I'm really dark. I don't know. I guess I could do this a little bit. Maybe. No, that kind of makes it worse. Anyway, it's weird. We're going to move on to the actual episode and stop worrying about what I look like, because I'm guessing you guys don't really care. Yeah, it was really good. Again, not quite where I thought it was going, which is nice. It's nice that I'm kept on my toes. I think I'm understanding kind of a little bit what we're going for thematically. Again, I'm talking to this idea from the first episode of this arc. Snake Girl versus Bangs Girl. It's something Shinobu says, I believe. You've gone from Bangs Girl to Snake Girl, right? Or Snake Hair Girl, I think she says. Bangs hiding vision, right? You know, I can look down, I can not outwardly show what I really think, right? So it's all very metaphorical, right? Now that she doesn't have this defense mechanism, like she has a whole bunch of other defense mechanisms, she's forced to show what she really thinks, and that's when we get the confrontation with the teacher. Which is just great VA work, by the way. Love the switch. Love how quick it is. Love how surprising it is. It's for the first time we actually get to see the teacher's face as well, which is a cool touch, because again, that would be obfuscated by her vision, and now it isn't. This whole episode, like Tsukiji as well, it's like stripping away all these things that she uses to maintain her status quo, to maintain her cute status, to maintain being who she has been this whole time. We're stripping those things away slowly. Tsukiji is the first one to call her out on the I'm sorry stuff, right? Why are you saying that? I didn't catch it, but maybe she would call it out on the in that case, or anyway, or any of these linking phrases, right? But I digress. Either way, I thought we were looking for a body. Apparently that isn't accurate, where we were looking for a little charm that was sealing the body, I'm guessing. Very similar to the charm that was placed on the shrine way back in the day during Nideko's snake. It's used as a bookmark in a little bit of a pornographic book from Araragi, so we'll leave it at that. And then Araragi right there at the end, stripping away the final piece of that veneer, the veneer of her keeping up this not mutual, got a one-sided affection for Araragi, and using that as a way not to face any of her real feelings. Again, think back to the confession from that random guy. She didn't even think about it. She wasn't forced to make any decision there because she had the Araragi thing in the tuck. She could always say, I have somebody else I like, because she did. But did she really? Or was she just keeping it that way because she was afraid of change? She was in love with the status quo. Either way, all this stuff has been stripped away, and we're going to see what lies beneath in episode 4, and we're going to see what happens in this episode, and see if anything comes to a real conclusion. So we start the episode with Tsukiji being a little bit weird, because she's very weird. I mean, all the characters are weird, besides... Well, even Nideko's weird now, but she used to not be. She thought that she was going to be sleeping with her brother, so she jumped into bed, but it turns out it's a girl, it's Nideko, she was sleeping in the bed. I totally thought I was embracing my brother, so it was okay. Again, extremely Monogatari moment. So I guess we haven't really seen, but I don't know if these two have been talking all that much through this whole period. I guess they're still close enough that the first thought of the parents would be that she went to her house, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't think it's particularly relevant either. She thought about it for a second, and then she's like, oh, I get it. Oni-chan found you and brought you over here, didn't he? Because the other implication, it couldn't possibly be true. There's no way it could be true. The Nideko I know couldn't have actually been sharing a bed with him. There's a difference there. It's he gave up her bed for her. It isn't a relationship of mutuals. It isn't an equal relationship there. It's somebody going out of his way to save somebody else and give up the bed, right? It isn't sharing the bed, even though he wanted to share the bed. But anyway, ignore that. It's giving up something for someone else. Very heroic action for a victim. Yeah, what a gentleman, right? It couldn't have possibly been the alternative. And then we get the first mention here. What's wrong, Nideko-chan? If you're looking down like that, I can't see your cute face. Again, this idea of cute. And we're going to talk about that a lot coming up. Don't say cute. Please don't say it. I'm not cute. I hung my head even lower. What are you saying, Nideko? Of course you're cute. Very cute. Super cute. Again, the exact opposite of what she wants to hear. But what else about me? What else about me besides my cuteness, right? What other character traits do I have? How else do I impact a scene on screen, right? Besides just being cute. Please tell me. It's written must be love, so it must be cute. Is that a Japanese thing, I'm guessing? When we started our second year together back in April, the first thing that came to mind was, wow, how cute. First thing I thought of when I saw you again was how cute. And again, this line, she's the cutest, right after me. Because I've got a whole bunch of other shit going on besides just being cute. And again, it's very meta. I'm talking about this ranking of girls again from Monogatari. I would imagine that during the fandom, before this came out, there was a ranking of girls, and she sat at the bottom because, of course, she would, because she's the least relevant and the one that has the least screen time. And again, everything people would say about her, oh, she's cute. Yeah, she's cute, but not much else. She doesn't have as much going on as Hanakawa, obviously, who is cute and also has a bunch of weirdo baggage that makes her like a creep, freak, outcast, like ridiculous personification of somebody that shouldn't exist, and Senjukahara that has a whole bunch of weird quirks that we're now just figuring out all of a sudden, and Kambaru, who is freaking hilarious, and Shinobu, who probably has the deepest story out of any of the girls so far, and even goddamn Hachikuji, who's like 8. You're getting beaten by an 8-year-old. Like, honestly, I love this line. I think it's so clever. And I could be completely misinterpreting it completely, but Shinobu and Tsukihi have said it so far. I think that's very relevant. Then if I weren't cute, you wouldn't have become friends with me back then, Tsukihi-chan. If I wasn't cute, I wouldn't have been able to meet Araragi, right? And then that question ignored, right? Is my cuteness the only thing that gives me value? What? Oh no, sorry, nothing. I'm sorry. This line, I'm sorry. What did you mean by that, right? And for the first time in ages that I've probably seen outside of, again, there's probably some examples. Sorry isn't what I want to hear. I asked what you meant. What did you mean by what you said? You obviously just didn't say it for no reason. I wasn't offended. I wanted to know what you thought. Why did you say that? And the editing here, the editing switches slightly. I mean, it's already been very POV based and very scary and very in your face and that kind of thing. This is a huge part of what I didn't like about Nisei Monogatari, but I think it's being framed a lot better here. In this scene, we are right to be scared of Tsukihi, right? So she is scary. Back in Nisei, I guess in the back of our minds, there was some implication about her being like an aberration freak. So maybe that's why she should have been scary and a little bit non-human, right? But right here, right now, this is kind of Sengoku's worst nightmare come to life. It's somebody actually calling her out on her bullshit, you know? And of course, it's framed like it's terrifying. Even gets some horror movie iconography in it as well. And keeps persisting, keeps pushing forward into her space as well on screen. Oh yeah, this is probably something I should have brought up before, but I'm thinking about changing my setup slightly. So when I go into my analysis portion, I'll probably have the episode full screen, me a little bit smaller, and then I'll get a drawing app or something so I can draw some lines. I think that'll be quite a lot better, so I can actually circle things I'm talking about as well. I don't know. It's something to think about, I think. I might try to do that next week. I'll feel like a teacher or something. It'll be weird. Or are you apologizing because you feel guilty about something? Again, yeah, guilt is a big theme in this arc too. It comes back up when she explodes out at the school, I think. What answer will make her hit me? She'll hit me even if I say nothing. She doesn't want to get hit, so she's forced to say something. Again, I didn't know Tsukihi was violent like that, but sure. Like, POV, you're about to get punched in the face by a little girl. That's funny. You see, I was told by this person, good thing you happen to be cute. Last night's conversation. And I thought, hey, that's a bad thing. Maybe I'm going to try to channel not being cute now. Not being just cute, I guess I should say. And technically it wasn't a person, it was a vampire, as we know. And then we get these crazy Danganronpa eyes as she repeats the line. And then we get the first, or one of the first talks about the bangs, right? So this makes you feel guilty being cute, so you hide your face with your bangs because you're cute? Is that what it is? So they're kind of really pronounced here, and we see later on we get a big right? And it looks really stupid to start with, but I think she ends up pulling it off. And that's why you dress down on a daily basis and wear those unstylish clothes. I don't remember her ever doing this. I guess, no, she's got an aesthetic going on. Like, I'm thinking the opening, she's wearing like like overalls and that kind of thing. And if we think back to Renai Circulation, she's got her hat on, and I guess the hat's hiding her face a little bit, and it's like a weird poncho. I guess it's not very tight fitting. I don't know. Oh, you dress it down with... Okay, no, this is interesting. You dress it down with all these unstylish clothes, like that tasteless scrunchie. Now we're relating her style stuff to the manifestation of the snake a little bit, right? Which I think is all within her head as well. Interesting. Okay. Let me give you a piece of advice, Nadeko. I get what you're trying to say, but isn't it your fault that all you are is cute? Isn't it your fault, not everybody else's? You're not the victim in this, that all you are is cute. You have to kind of take the reins on that a little bit. It's your own life. Grow a personality, basically. It's another push in the direction of what happens halfway through the episode. And again, terrifying look on Tsukihi's face. Was Oni-chan the first one that said that you were cute? And then she changes tact immediately. Speaking of which, you're in love with him, right? Because it's obvious. Because I already know this. What are you talking about? Do you have proof? And we get this very, like, cop investigation scene as she points the light on her. And she's a very, very bad, defendant, I guess. Bad criminal would be a snitch for sure. It's very obvious to everybody involved. He's probably the only one that hasn't noticed. Again, Araragi has been known to not know when people like him. Think back to Hanakawa. How'd you fall in love with him in the first place? The only time you had contact with him was when you were in the 2nd grade, right? Goes back to when he was 6. When he was 6? Really? So it goes back even before now, I guess. And then this staticky screen, it repeats again. It goes back to when he was 6, and then we get our Ring stuff going on. You know, the horror movie The Ring, she climbs out of the TV. That's the whole aesthetic. That's the whole really, I guess, iconic part of that movie. And we're replicating it here. Jumping out of the screen. What are we trying to say there? I guess it's just horrific to Nadeko's eye. And this is what she sees horror as. I guess that fits. I don't think that we're talking about anything about a character jumping out of the screen to change what's happening or something. I don't know. And this kind of imagery is combined with the thought of confronting what she actually means by love. It isn't cutesy-dootsy, lovey-dovey, like crush type stuff. It's I want to have lover type relationship with Araragi, right? There's a sexual side to it. And the editing's here great flashes on screen of the text, cutting back between this face of Nadeko and kind of Tsukihi, like jumping around, different cuts, going to touch her. Nice stuff. The serpent on my right wrist said nothing, did nothing, acted like it wasn't there. What did they mean by this? Like the serpent didn't act at all as she was being intimidated by Tsukihi, I guess? And I think we talk a little bit here about the name. Why do you still call him Oni-chan, right? Why don't you just call him Araragi like everybody else? It's this very cutesy kiddie name for Araragi. If you saw him on an actual level, you wouldn't be speaking up to him like this, right? You would be seeing him on a level and calling him Araragi like everybody else. And then here's the thing, right? We talk a lot about our averting gaze again. But he has a girlfriend, you know? And that happens after the opening here. The thing after the opening is I got reminded of that Medusa line again. I don't really see how it's relevant outside of the snake hair. I did a little bit of research into it last week. Again, it's like it's being perceived one way by a lot of people, and that changing and becoming monstrous as a result. I guess you could speak to that as to what's going on as well. But as she asked that question, right? As she asked that question of you know, he has a girlfriend, right? Time stood still. So you did know, right? You knew deep down inside that he had a girlfriend. You saw him walking around town with various women. Again, we don't explicitly say Senjugahara. You could see that, hey, maybe he's with any of these girls that he's walking around with. The point is that he's not walking around with you, is he? He never walks around with you. He takes the lead. You follow behind. You're never walking side by side like he is with everybody else. You're not as important as that, right? I think now we're going to see, instead of walking side by side with him, they're going to be walking like this. Like confronting each other, right? So let's have a heart-to-heart about what's going on. When did you actually find out that he had a girlfriend? And it's a different woman each time, so I thought that none of them were his girlfriend. But if he's doing it with various women, then the chances actually increase of one of them being his girlfriend, right? The problem is it ain't you. It was never going to be you. If we're taking this in a pure harem sense, she's the girl with the least chance of ending up with the victory, right? She is the least relevant harem girl. Even like your competition is his literal sisters and an 8-year-old, and you're losing. That's funny. That's hilarious. Again, I keep saying she's 8 years old. She's probably older than that. Anyway, Hachikuji's like a child, and you're losing to a child. That's what's important. And this is a little bit meta. She's the only match for him. Everyone thinks he's the only one for her, and everyone thinks that he's the only one, or she's the only one for him, I should say. This is what the fandom perceives as well, right? There's only ever going to be one winner, and it's going to be Senju Gahara. Of course it is, right? It was stupid to think that even Hanakawa had a chance, let alone frickin' Nadeko. You know what I mean? So I think it was during September that she saw him with somebody and thought that it was a girlfriend, right? During September. I wonder what happens. We'll see. What's problematic for me now, how does Nadeko-chan, knowing Oni-chan has a girlfriend, continue to be in love with him? Why do you do that? Why haven't you moved on? So I have no intent on stealing her, if that's what you're asking. If he has a girlfriend, I have no intent of troubling him. I don't want to worry him. I don't want to put him out. Just being in love is enough for me. And that's the problem, right? Again, into her personal space. Looking her in the eye, avoiding the bangs. It's so obvious that you love him, but you don't want to pursue him. What gives? In other words, to you, he's like a TV star, or a hero, in a manga, or something like that. He's so far removed from you, he may as well be fictional. He is that unattainable. And I love him as a member of the opposite sex. And various references here too, I'm sure somebody has gone through. I think I saw a very 1960s-ish look of a popular boy band, maybe. Someone you long for but never get. Stop that. That doesn't mean that my feelings are fledgling. Fledgling? Weird translation there. My feelings are weak, right? So deep inside, she's like, that doesn't mean they're not powerful. That doesn't mean they don't dominate my life, even though they're just like something unattainable. You're being awfully acquiescent for somebody that's been in love with him so long. Longer than anybody else, basically. Even longer than she thinks. Not second grade, since he was 6. And then we get various looks at the different... Oh, this is very interesting. Okay, this is from way back. I think this is from Nisei, where she puts her hair... She pushes it back. She takes off her bangs, right? And in this scene, she's being openly a bit more flirty with him, from memory. This is when she brings him over to her house and they start talking about some stuff. And then that links into the Kaiki stuff, I believe. I think that's the context. And she's quite cute in this scene. This was one of the first scenes that I noted that she had actual character. Interesting. Tried to entice him with skimpy outfits instead of wearing these other outfits that were maybe a little bit more cover-uppy. And we get lots of different looks here from Nadeko. Various looks at other scenes where she's been throughout the show. There's not many of them, so you don't have much to choose from. You'd lay out on the bed, act assertively, and pretend you don't know he has a girlfriend, pretend that you actually had a chance. And yet you're not giving up on him, and you seem happy when you make him worry about you. The impression I'm getting is that it feels like a romance you know will never come to fruition, and thus reassured you keep it up. She's telling me I love someone out of reach, or entirely fictitious. Loving someone who won't turn you down sure is the easy way out. And I missed some lines in there too, but I don't really want to go back. It's basically what it says down the bottom as well. And thanks to you being in love with him, life's easy. It was easy for you to decline when some other boy asked you out, right? Yeah, as I brought up before. It gave her an easy out, a need not to confront the things that she sees. Same with the bangs. And the end of the episode represents the last release of that defense mechanism. You're gonna have to go out into the real world and make some relationships now. You don't have this crutch to fall back on. And we get this text on screen too. Actually, I turned down a confession from the boy on the baseball team in my first term with that exact reason. And I'm guessing that's the exact reason that she uses on the boy that confessed to her and then gave her the snake curse, or didn't give her the snake curse. You know what I mean. And I merely want to avoid troubling Koyomi Oni-chan, right? Never Araragi again, and avoid troubling. That's the only reason, right? I don't use it for any other purpose. There's no way not to cause any trouble for him if I do this. There's no way I'd win against her. I'd be worrying him if I confessed. If I was a boy, no, even as a girl, when I hear those assertions of yours, Nadeko-chan, I of course think, how cute. And that's what I was thinking as well. How cute is it that you don't want to trouble him and are very cutesy and put on this very, very traditional feminine look, in that you're not very, assertive in the plot at all, right? It's very almost 1960s look at gender dynamics here from Nadeko, which is strange. Even before that, 1950s even, right? So she's petty, but admirable and cute. She does have these feelings. She doesn't want to confess them because it would trouble the man too much, right? And of course, this is all just excuses and defense mechanisms deep down. You don't need to be like this anymore, you know? And then the idea of the lottery tickets, right? You're buying a lottery ticket on love right now. You may hit the jackpot, but chances are nothing. You know, there's the whole thing about it's way more satisfying to build up your empire, right? Build up a business, build up something like that, something entrepreneurial, and make a whole bunch of money than it is to buy a lottery ticket. Everybody would rather do the former, right? She's opting for lottery tickets right now. She's not building anything with Araragi. You need to buy reality instead, not fiction, not something that'll never come true. I think when people say follow your dreams, it really means look at reality. And here's where she notices the stationery. I've noticed something now. She went over to the desk, right? And she grabbed something. Interesting. And it's a visual representation of Senjugahara as well. That's very interesting. If you were actually going to confess to Oni-chan, if you're planning on fighting her, I was thinking about cheering for you. And again, all these characters on the background, I don't really know what that's about. Again, probably some Japanese translation needed there. The colors in the room have been really nice too. We've kind of gone from that harsher yellow to this cooler blue, as we're maybe going to get some reds here in a second. But then very, very quick cuts of all the different locations in Monogatari. But I've had enough of this. I'm bored of this. And then I'll end it all for you. Big slash on the screen with the scissors. Cut to like a real sketchy look here. And then bang. There goes the hair. Old friend drifting down from the hair as well. Because Tsukihi is an old friend. And she did this for you. Or did this against you. Again, it's perspective. I stood here in a stupor. And then she screams. I asked for your attention. 1, 2. And then big old screen. Red contrasting the blue from before, and we get this look for for Tsukihi. And now I get to bring up the funny looking Yui from K-On! Picture here, where she cuts her own hair in the mirror. Great scene, by the way, so funny. It's just before like school photos, yearbook photos. It's very funny. Shout out to K-On! By the way. 1 hour later, she's on her way to school again, and she doesn't really remember what happened between that hour and now. Going with this impossible. The look here is quite... That's bad. She pulls it off later, but right now it looks very frumpy. Karen fixed my hairstyle. The difference in style between my bangs, sides, and nape. Yeah, she fixed your hair. And no, having escaped from reality, that's inevitable, Nadeko-chan. Relax, you're cute enough. What? And then that still idea of, I'm not cute. Don't think I'm cute because of what you're seeing right now. Very, very... It's weird, right? Because this is lame, but in doing so, it is cute. You know what I mean? It's a weird kind of contradiction there. And she says that very loud that even the kids around her hear. A girl I'd never seen before, she looks at herself in the mirror finally and says, like I said, I'm not cute. I don't have this cute guise that I can use anymore, you know? Either way, here the snake offers to, I'll fix your bangs if you do this thing for me, I'll chuck it in. I'm essentially a god, I can do stuff like that. So if you want to fix your hair, I can do it. That's a little setup, I think. Because then we talk about later a wish with some intention, and what is her real intention in all of it with Araragi now that he said what he said at the end of the episode. And that's a setup. Yeah, this is essentially where the plot's going. You can fix my hair, then I have to find the thing. There's some implication here that the snake already knows where the vessel is. Thanks to Koyomi Oni-chan trying to set you on the right path, I found where it was. And the snake says it's going to shut up as the teacher then approaches again. Sengoku taps her on the shoulder after seeing her from behind. She turns around. It seems I've mistaken you for someone else. Sorry. No, I'm the person you're talking about. Again, it's more metaphorical than actually literal. Somebody would still know that this is Sengoku, obviously. It's more that you've lost the thing that made you meek, the thing that you could hide, you know? And by removing all these different defenses, we see who you really are a little bit. Is that what you really look like under all of this? And again, it's weird, right? Because in reality, she hasn't changed physically at all, but again, it's very perception-based. I wonder if the actual look at Sengoku, her actual character design, is a little more pronounced in the hair, and cutting this would be a bit more of a surprise. I don't know. And she's thinking different thoughts here. He coughed. It was obviously fake. Like, what? What do you mean by this? Like, you're a bit more judgy now. Either way, he pushes forward with this idea of the developments in the class. Have you done anything in 24 hours since I asked you last time? As usual, I lowered my eyes, looked down, and stayed quiet. Having done so, I'd wait for him to become unsettled and walk away. It's likely never going to be solved going on standby. Why is it that I can now see his face a little bit more, even when I'm looking down? The hair's not in the way. Even with my eyes closed, Sasayabu-sensei has a clear view of my face. If I can see his face, he can see my face. If he can see my facial expressions, it's obvious to him that I'm not troubled so much. I have no choice, I have to make up some likely excuse to get through the scene, probably lead with an I'm sorry or something. But then we flash back to Tsukihi, who called her out on that last time. Is she really going to do that again? I wonder if a normal excuse will do it, and then we change. So, peaceful day, and then, like, school announcement megaphone, shut up, and then very quick cuts, this pose here, which is outwardly very aggressive, almost animalistic, and then she seemingly has like a split personality here a little bit more than even normal, right? So she's still thinking inside her head, wait, did someone just say something? Where this now Nadeko has taken over, and she starts spitting some facts. Of course there aren't any new developments, don't go forcing all your work on me, and she's just yelling, at the teacher here. The teacher is so taken aback, and she's right. And the voice performance is great, and it's very cathartic. It feels great, right? So where do we all go wrong? I'm guessing that's to do with Araragi, as we lead into episode 4. I love the here as well. That's fantastic. This pose, the one leg forward, one leg back, fighting pose. Don't you know that you're asking for the impossible? Don't get all chummy and touch me. You think people are dolls or something. You think people are cute or something. I'm not cute. I have this other side. Yeah, she's just spitting. She's just spitting right now. Don't assume the quiet ones are really quiet. That's very true. I knew a lot of quiet kids at school, and when they're not at school, they're not so very quiet. I'll say that. You should have seen me as a good for nothing. Even you should have seen me in the third person as a like she's talking about another her again. Very interesting. Yeah, bit of mixed personality stuff going on. Also very extreme metaphor, big mirror in the school that is reflecting what's going on. Two sides, you know? This is contrary to everything I ever did. And she's going to fix the problem right now in front of everybody. I'm gonna go do my job, isn't that what you wanted me to do? Like that very sassy teenage girl type opinion. She kicks the door open with a frickin' kung fu kick and then stands at the front of school, right? For somebody that has openly been so anti-confrontation, like, again, like, tonikaku, all these other, like, linking phrases that she's been using, nowhere. Very confronting, direct eye contact, and yeah, a very different look here in the eyes. And yeah, she calls the class out on their bullshit. I don't care what opinions or feelings we had about anyone in the past, forget about them, move on, something which she hasn't been able to do with Araragi, and find new feelings. Another thing that she hasn't been able to do. It's projecting a little bit. She's talking to herself as well as everybody else. So in that way, it may be very hypocritical what happens in the end, because Araragi saying what he says at the end of the episode is an ending of the status quo. You're ending the status quo in the class right now very aggressively. Again, turn those words on yourself. What happens? You become more and more villainous. And you notice slowly through the scene, her hair is raising up, right? Like the snakes raise up with the Medusa hair. And all the kids have disappeared from their seats right to the back of the classroom. She's intimidated all of them into a corner. There must have been some kind of truth inside the lie. Again, I think the line here even says it. I yelled from the bottom of my heart. It's true to my situation as well, you know. You don't have a heart big enough to forgive any of that, right? Do you not? Why don't you? I hate all of you, but god damn it, you're my classmates. I hate all these different sides of myself, but god damn it, they're me, you know? So get over it, basically. Again, it's that release. After being such the perfect person all along, very Hanakawa-esque, this is her form of release. Doesn't manifest as an aberration here, it manifests as her just freaking out in front of everybody, basically. I left school early that day, and I'm just absentmindedly walking around. Like, what did I even just do? This frame's gorgeous, by the way. Like, the green up here is great touch. It would be autumn going into winter, actually, as well. Nice colors on the tree. So I'm walking around absentmindedly. In comparison, the walk to school was even fun. I've got no goal right now. Back then, what in the hell was troubling my mind? Why was I so thin? Because right now I've got problems that are way bigger than even that. Also, yeah, great colors here. Like the purples. Look at that. Great. I had no idea where I was going. Really, where am I going? Something that should be as clear as water, Nadeko. That tirade earlier, it wasn't that I took over your body and said whatever was on my mind. That was clearly 100% you. But again, we end the scene with, you are still the cause, though. I don't understand there. There might be some language stuff. The restraints you usually have on disappeared. Again, I've talked about this. The bangs, the I'm sorry, the love of Araragi, they're all being stripped away as defense mechanisms. And she faces it a little bit here, which is good. Yeah, I do think it's your fault. I don't think it's you that controlled me, but it is your fault. Interesting. I don't know. For now, my life and my days at school have come to an ending. Really? Oh, I mean, I guess they have. You kind of go off the rails after this, but you don't know that yet. Why are your school days ending? I guess the days as they were. So now, once and for all, let's end it. Let's go get this vessel. Let's get out of here. Let's, finish this thing. And I can go get my bangs back, and I can return to normal, and it'll all be okay, and I can continue that status quo. And then let's bid farewell. I will never talk to you again after this, right? I'm going to do this thing that you guilted me into, and then we're going to end it. And apparently, the vessel has been in his house the entire time, because it was given to him by Meme to keep a hold of, because it was important that he kept this and made sure that nobody got it. So he used it as a bookmark in a dirty magazine. That's pretty funny. So she breaks into his house, essentially. She turns the lock here, and two snakes slither away. And apparently the snake unlocked it. Barriers mean nothing to him. So yeah, Meme probably gave the vessel seal thing to Araragi. Weird. I was just thinking again, because that's the start of the episode, the reason why I'm in love with Koimi or Nichan, it's because if I am, I don't have to get hurt. Again, defense mechanism. See, romance takes a whole lot of energy, right? Liking somebody, not liking somebody, all this kind of stuff. And if I don't have to expend that energy, then I'll be okay. Almost a very Hyoka concept there, where it's all about the energy needed in love. And energy consumption, and the lack of energy needed to do something in the most efficient method. And is that always practical in love? Yeah, it's easier pining for a love that'll never be yours in comparison to doing the actual thing. And yeah, she's facing it very much so here. I've been in love with somebody for 6 years with a friend's older brother whom I've barely gotten to know. I'm barely a part of his life. It's just unreasonable, right? And then we get our little flashback. Kiyomi, grade school, sorry. It's awkward with someone older around, but Tsukihi dragged me in. And then? I don't really get that, but sure. Again, it's depicting what they were like way in the past. I have to say I felt relieved being in love with somebody as unattainable as the stars. And there's a little flower in the hair, in his little ahoge. And yeah, again, somebody could write a metaphor for this for sure. A dream that remains unfulfilled, an ideal left unrealized, an item never found, calling it that. Let me live in peace. Very red. Then she finds the horny mags, and they're all women with glasses too. Kind of funny. And she's kind of interested in seeing what he likes, but in the process fails to realize that the vessel has fallen from the book. To think that my vessel wasn't a physical item, but a drawing. Don't really know the relevance of this, but sure. Hurry up and feed me that talisman, Nadeko-chan. I'm sure everything will be okay. You'll get your wish. I'll grant your bangs back. No, that won't be enough of a reward. If you have other wishes, I'll grant them. So, right now she's some kind of pariah, right? She's some kind of rando weirdo that just lashed out at school. The wish for the bangs, that's a wish back to the status quo. That's a wish back to being the victim. No, that won't be enough of a reward. I can grant you a wish that'll surpass even that. You can become an equal to Araragi. Do you want that? I don't care if they're overly ambitious, go for them. As unattainable as the stars. What is it that I, bolded, what is it that I want? I want our feelings to become mutual. Me and Koyomi Oni-chan, our feelings to become mutual. I wonder if this wish is going to be twisted. I wonder how you're going to feel about Koyomi Oni-chan after he says what he has to say next episode. Then will the feelings still become mutual? That one won't come true, Sengoku. We hear the music cut off, gasp by Sengoku, and Araragi standing in the doorframe. And then into the ED. Yeah, great episode in retrospect. I need to get a wriggle on if I want to record this next one now, so I'm just going to do just that. But yeah, lots of ideas going into episode 4. Rightio, got episode 4 up here ready to go. Let me pop that up on screen. 26 minutes and 40 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly. Just going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Rightio, 3, 2, 1, go. Yes. 21? Oh, like different colors. What? I won't do anything to you. Oh, what? Look at these hands. That's crazy. It had turned into a simple article. Is this it? Is this it, huh? She's delusional? It was always a simple article? You could still turn back now. I have to do something with this. What do you mean? Atonement. The guilt, right? For the snakes. I'm the victim, but the culprit as well. Yeah, she does have a lot of no shoulders. So that's kind of insane, right? Who told you? Okay. You always look bothered like that when I talk to you. Alright, here she comes. Obstinate, spoiled brat. Who knows nothing. A brat who's nothing but cute. Philanthropism. Oh shit. Cold-blooded. Oh shit, she is. My own mistake. Nah. Nah, it ain't like that. Aren't you a god? It's kind of tragic. Oh, what? Entrusted my master with, huh? Tying your hair up with, ha ha ha. Yes, okay, so it's what I thought. I thought, yeah, maybe it's part of her, like the entire time. It's just one side of her personality. And that's the thing at the end, right? When she yells out to the people, her classmates, when she lashes out, no, it was 100% me Sengoku. It wasn't the snake taking over, but they're one and the same, you know? Unless I'm completely wrong, I could be. Oh, my eye's kind of twitching a bit. That's weird. Ooh. I don't know anything. I close my eyes and wish upon a star. May I be cute forever. Now that's definitely got some meaning to it. Everything didn't go according to plan at all. And I just want your everything. Hit me with that doki doki. Yeah. Nadeko Medusa. Okay. Oh. She ate the thing. I have to eat her. It's too late. And then the eyes, red, snakes, great. Here's the moment. Oh shit. Yeah, she got super poisoned. Bye. Right. Why didn't you go for me instead? Interesting. Yeah, great point. Oh, CG on the hair too. As you stab him. Great. This is what I've been waiting for. Yeah, we're aware. Yep. And now we're back to where we were. This is the 2nd of November. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I did enjoy it. In its own way. I'm alone. Well, I just saw her finger move, so I think she might be actually alive. That guy's fallen. His heart exploded. They were too weak. Some Guy and Izuko as well. Yeah. As usual. Yes. So I created it. Kind of. Exactly. Okay, great. Good confirmation. Yay, I'm not dumb. Exactly. We've seen that throughout the series. Enough of a faith already. So what forced her to go back to the shrine? Was it the guilt? Was it something that Augie said? Amazing delusion. She was delusional, right? She saw the snake when she shouldn't have. Yeah. I'm Joan of Arc. Random? Sure. But she's a hero. Very obviously. Well, depends on perspective, of course. Monogatari, she said it. Oh, big cross. Fake. Exactly. But now you're living an actual story. You got your own story. Like what? What's the question? You forced yourself to forget things? Oh yeah, she was at the bookstore, correct. So you gained some knowledge there. It kind of is. You're talking to yourself. On equal ground. Huh. Like what you wanted to do. Yeah. Exactly. As usual. Or did it start before that? Oh, even before that? What happened? What happened in September? Okay, so that's when you found out. Amiable manner. That is the beginning for you. Yep. This rain, I wonder what that says. Oh, we love jealousy in Monogatari, don't we? Same idea as that friend of yours. Prayed to a god. It's weird that you don't remember that, but sure. The 100 Worships Ritual. Yeah, no, it would have been less than that, even if she went every day. Prayer. There's been some ideas about prayer through the episodes as well. What? Yes, that is true. Yeah, belief is half the battle. Yeah, there wouldn't have been any power here. What did she say? Okay, the morning even before then. What did she say? Oh shit. Oh shit, how do you know that? And you always knew that. You were living in a delusion. Oh, you're evil as fuck. Yo, and then what was the scene at the start of the show? What was the scene with Orky before? Was she just delusional? Yo, she's pulling the strings. We don't like Orgy. Oh shit. Okay, so that was the same conversation on the same day. You just forgot some stuff. Okay, Aragi's moving. Okay, yep. So you fabricated your own story. You knew everything from the beginning. Yeah. And it just all spiraled out from there. Using the story I created as a decoy. Otori. You just were delusional? What? Okay, that's a little bit of forethought that's weird. Okay, alright, no, that's a whole part of that. Okay, I see. Yeah, you're kind of crazy. Not fit to be a thief. I'm not fit to steal anything from anybody. Properly revived me. What do you mean by revived? It's all fabrication. Exactly. You're even above the story. Yeah, you have. So much of this is fake, though. That's crazy. Hey, look, it's the theme. The culprit and the victim are the same thing? What? Yeah, please tell me. Because I still have questions. There's no such thing as a coincidence. That niece pretender. That niece pretender. To think everything was to her arrangement. Yeah, Shinobu's getting fucked up here. She stopped moving? Hey yo. Is she gonna be okay? I mean, he was moving, which is kind of insane. What do you mean by this? Okay, that's really delusional. Exhausting. Conservation of energy. It'd be a nicer story, wouldn't it? Your insanity. She's aware that she's insane. Oh shit. Okay. Sure. Yeah, again, the splitting of Nadeko and who she really is. And then the sun's out. She didn't actually do it. She's getting a call from somebody. I changed my mind. Oh, yes. Finally. Is my guy still alive? Yeah, barely. I don't know about Shinobu. Let's make a deal. What's the deal? Oh shit. Oh shit. What? Can't. No, I'm taking it all. I'm being the villain. Okay. Okay, so what are you gonna do? Yeah, that is true. And all hell will break loose. That's a good piece of advice for somebody that's gonna kill your boyfie. That is really good advice. But if you kill Senjo, then... Huh. I'll kill it. You're gonna freak out too. Yes, that is the correct order. But But Araragi would freak out at killing Senjo, too. I like the score up the top, too. Purity and spirit. I'll listen, but no more. Give us a little bit of time. Six months. Yeah, great question. Oh shit. Is this a ticking time for the rest of the series? Yeah. Shit. The idea of dying at graduation too. Your schooling being your life. I think this is going to happen too. Refrain from holding hands. That's also true. Oh no, that isn't true. My former self. I hate you again, right? Thanks, Senjo. You haven't really been in the show, but sure. Why are you so happy? I guess you're now relevant. You're not a victim. Very, very, very intriguing. So we took my, like, kind of offhand ideas from, like, the first couple episodes and took them to the nth degree, where it was entirely her the entire time. A lot of stuff was straight up delusion. She knew all the answers from the start. Augie knows more than she's letting on. It relates to Meme's relationship with Shinobu a little bit, maybe. That damn niece that's an imposter, a fake. Wonder what that all means. And yeah, we have our ticking time clock for the rest of the series? Question mark? And I think they're going to follow through on it. That would make sense why the Western fans would hate Nadeko so much, because she essentially ends everything, right? She's the villain. She doesn't let there be more story. Yeah, very interesting. Not sure I got all of it. I'm pretty short on time, like I always am. So we're going to talk about it in a little less detail than maybe I want to. But a lot of it is just her monologuing anyway, so we'll see. We'll see how we go. Oh. What? No time skip, no spoilers? What is this? Yes, at an actual full shrine. Okay. Very interesting episode preview, sure. Okay, this one feels a little more substantial. Yes. Okay. Snakeskin? Oh, she tied her hair back. To say farewell to her human self. Whoa. Hello, everybody. Yep. Yeah, she's a bit older. Yep, true. Well, where's Hachikuji? The last boss would be the best thing that could happen for me. What is this? What are you going to say? Yeah, look at this cool shit. And I'll murder them all. Yay, everyone's dead. Coming soon. Great. And there's our actual preview. Okay. Radio, a little bit of analysis on whatever that was right at the end. What? Okay, sure. I thought I had it all figured out, didn't I? I thought I was the smartest guy, and then they throw in that little part at the end. I guess I still kind of get it. She's playing a very almost comic book classic fiction villain in that final scene, right? But it seemingly ends with all of them dying. It seemingly ends with her winning, right? The shrine has been rebuilt as well. Interesting. Lots of stuff to pick apart there. Again, Kana Hanazawa killed it. She was crazy. Like, literally. And that little giggle right at the end, the last line. That little pun about Kami and coming. That's great. Coming soon. Great. Either way, episode up here. I don't have long, probably 50 minutes recording time, which is not very long at all. So we're going to see what we can see. I might add some thoughts tomorrow. Maybe I just do that. Hold up. I'm going to cut this and I'm going to talk about this more tomorrow. Because I feel like I need to give it a full looking at. So you'll see me change clothes and that kind of thing. I've just decided this spur of the moment. We'll see what this does. Either way, this episode was great. I'll talk about it more tomorrow. I can really dive into some of the stuff a little bit more. So before I start anything here, I don't go into something that is seemingly super obvious now to me, which is that Kuchinawa-san is the manifestation of this person, this villain, dragging Nadeko along. So she can play the victim in her own head. He's the one pushing the plot forward to get her to the place where she always wanted to go within her own mind. She just created this delusion. So I don't know if I get that across in what I say, but I wanted to say it now just because I was thinking about it and wanted to say so. Okay, on with the video. So, I'm back. Hello, hi. It's a bit more yellow in this room now. I don't know what exactly changed, but it's okay. Yeah, it's the next day. I've thought on the episode a little bit. My thoughts have changed slightly, which I'll get into. Especially around the very last scene. I actually had a reread of it. Turns out that it's basically all within her own head again, and it's not going to play out like that. That's why it said no spoilers and that kind of thing. Anyway, I've got the Google timeline up here. Very cool. My Google document. So yeah, 31st October, Otorimonogatari start. We've been through all this stuff up to here. And now I've written episodes 3 and 4 down. What's relevant, right? Nadeko lashes out at her teacher and is turned down by Araragi. Kind of randomly, like he just kind of stumbles upon it. Nadeko has snake hair and is compatriots. Very cool word now, compatriots, considering they're one and the same. They share the same country. With Kuchinawa-san, the snake. Scratch that, she is the snake. That's my little edit there. She kills Araragi. She doesn't kill Araragi, but pretty close. It turns out that the whole thing is a massive mindfuck, and she has been willingly doing something evil whilst deluding herself that she's the victim. So, yes, what I've been talking about kind of in hushed tones has now come to fruition. This is how I interpret the episode. I'm going to go through it again now. The way I see it is that, okay, so let me break it down. She sees Araragi with somebody. We still don't know who that is. It could be Senjo, it could be Hanakawa. Either way, it's close enough that she interprets it as a girlfriend. Then she goes to the snake shrine to pray, and she prays, and she prays, and she prays, even though there's no god there. Then Augie slips her some weirdo info that is weird, and why does Augie know that? And there's a choice line by Shinobu that I'll break down as well. Then it turns out that she has been deluding herself into playing the victim whilst executing this evil plan to get this thing out of Araragi's room and then swallow it and then become relevant, essentially. That's a very basic understanding of what happens. Either way, May/graduation, this is the next year, Senjogahara, Araragi, and Shinobu all die at the hands of Nadeko. So, again, what we see in the post-credit scene, I don't think that's real. However, I still think that this ticking time thing is real. I still think that, because there's a lot of thematic stuff around finishing life at graduation as it pertains to school anime, so I think that's what we're going for. But again, we will see. There could be some more stuff in store for Nadeko in that respect. Again, like, Shinobu's the most powerful being in the universe. I don't know why she doesn't just... I guess Nadeko's a god. That's pretty good. Gods are pretty good. Either way, the other thing, I'm trialing this format just for this time. Please tell me if this is good. I think it should be good. And then, watch this. I can go like... and then go... See? And I can do highlights and stuff of interesting things. So I think that this should be a good format going forward. The only thing is if it'll get copyright pinged a bit more than normal because I've got a bigger picture of what's going on. But I digress. This is open board. If you guys have suggestions for better software to do this kind of thing, I'm all ears. Either way, as you can see, I've got the episode up here. All in all, I thought it was a very interesting episode if I didn't always love it compositionally. Like, it's a lot of... She just tells you what happened, basically. There's not a lot of drama to it in that way. I think we should shift things a little bit and have a little bit more happen this episode and then probably shorten the part where she just explains everything. I don't know. Again, it's a novel. It's hard to adapt something like that into a format that makes sense. But again, they've given it a good try. I really like the revelations. I really like the content. I just think the format could have changed slightly to match it. I guess I'm coming off overly negative because I did think the episode was quite amazing, actually. At least the revelations thereforth. I kind of understand what you guys meant where I hit the nail on the head with a lot of stuff. So I didn't feel lost this arc in a way where I felt lost other arcs, you know what I mean? I'm thinking Neko Kuro, where I just had no clue. This one I've got a pretty good clue as to what's going on, both in the story and in a meta sense. And yeah, I guess I'm just going to jump in now and pause it when I find something to talk about, I guess. There should be lots to talk about. So this approach by Araragi is very interesting initially, because it's very wary. It's very, like, you're dangerous right now, you know what I mean? And it clues me into that he knows something's been amiss this entire time. Maybe Sengoku's been deluding herself into thinking that Araragi's been doting and nice this whole time as well. Maybe he's been a little bit more like this the whole time too. The whole breakdown of the delusion, you know? Calm down? Why is such an unreasonable demand? Again, it's very like, calm down, don't do it, don't do the thing, please, calm down. And she stutters here a lot. It's alright, Kuchinowa-san. Like, she's freaking out. Again, everything comes crumbling down here a little bit. Eat the thing, eat the thing. It turns out it's just been a scrunchie the whole time. You know what I mean? Put the talisman on the floor, please. We don't want any trouble. And I don't quite know the language stuff here, but talisman, vessel, it seems like there was a change of word there, maybe? Change of interpretation of what the thing actually was. It's more dangerous than you think. You could still turn back. There's still hope for you. There's still redemption for you. But in the end, are you still turning back? Are you going to be the same old Sengoku that we've seen before? You know what I mean? The same old victim if you turn back now. I have to do something with this because for me it's atonement. But it isn't. She says, I'm not the victim. Well, I am the victim, but I'm also the culprit too. Is this the delusion breaking a little bit? I don't know. This is a very, like, Joker shot. Look at this. That's crazy. Araragi also heard about what happened at school. Again, this could contribute to what's been going on as well. So imagine you're Sengoku here, right? You've been going to school. It's been depressive. And then in every single piece of your time off, you've been going to the shrine to pray that Araragi doesn't end up with this other girl. You know what I mean? Like, that's a sad existence if I've ever seen one. I wanted to be left alone. It hurt to be seen as nothing but a cute girl. Is that meaning even now Araragi is treating her as such? Like, he's still apologizing, kind of. I'm sorry I didn't look out for you. Like, no agency over her own stuff. There's a line in there which is like, hey, I hate it when you look at me that way. I hate it when you give me that look. And then Shinobu cuts through all the artifice. How about you stop being so indirect? Again, this mirrors what she did at the end of episode 2 as well, where she cut through it all and just told it like it was. Again, she's got some kind of foresight that we don't perceive at the moment. I mean, not enough foresight to prevent what happened, but still. All you have to do is punch her and snatch it. There's no need to be polite, basically. A girl like this who knows nothing should just be tossed aside. Interesting. I know another girl that doesn't know anything, she just knows what she knows. There's been a lot of Hanakawa Sengoku stuff, which is a little bit strange. It would be a mercy to let her continue playing the victim. A brat who's nothing but cute. And cold words. Again, Sengoku's really interpreting all of this. Just abandon her, Araragi. Stop this philanthropism. If I can say that word. Like you're helping somebody disenfranchised. It's almost charitable what you're doing right now. Just let her be. Like a snake, cold-blooded, as it pertains to Shinobu. Again, we've heard that she's iron-blooded, hot-blooded, and cold-blooded, right? This is the cold-blooded coming through for sure. Again, all this stuttering and stuff, it's great work by the VA. It adds to the breaking of the delusion, I think, a little bit. She tries to look down here. All she sees is her little scrunchie. Again, she doesn't have the bang. She doesn't have the defense mechanism, right? She has to face this situation where she's being pressured by somebody like Shinobu. Keeps yelling out to the scrunchie, aren't you a god? Aren't you a god? Won't you stop it already? Bangs girl. Calls her bangs girl. Even though she doesn't have bangs, she's still bangs girl. Stop your persistent reliance on this Kuchinawa-san, some god who has not even been revived. So he has no form. You're lying. And again, Shinobu would know she's good at this stuff. That's probably why she didn't pick up on it before, because it didn't exist yet. You know what I mean? Like I said at the end of episode 2, I'm like, Shinobu would know that there's an aberration there, so why didn't she comment on it? Or why didn't that come to fruition? Because there was no aberration yet, right? And okay, we get another little reinterpretation here. So it wasn't Meme that entrusted the talisman with Araragi, right? We don't even know where Meme is. It was Gai Nezuko, right? Gai Nezuko's a little bit crazy nuts, at least a little bit, like, I don't know. She gives me Orgy vibes in that she knows way too much and is kind of happy about it and really, like, sells that. So her giving something to Araragi, probably with the knowledge that this would occur. We're going to have to keep an eye on it, for sure. And yeah, here it is. It's just a plain white scrunchie. There's no god here. It's been an illusion, delusion, blah, 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 blah. But again, the delusion's deeper than that. I will say that it's cool that they bring up one that seems totally good for tying up hair with, where she uses it to tie up her hair at the end of the episode during the post-credit scene, right? Again, lots of stuff with hair and hiding and decoys and that kind of thematic line. So using the scrunchie that she's had around her wrist to contribute to that is, yeah, pretty apt, I would say. So we get to the other side of the opening, and Sengoku just straight eats the thing, which is pretty funny. Just like, turns out I'm the aberration, baby. I'm gonna eat the thing and make myself whole. Again, this is just a story she's telling herself, I think. Shinobu jumps in immediately. I have to eat her. It's already too late for her. And the fact it's too late is something I understand the most. Too late for Araragi, I guess. That's what she's getting at. Love the red eyes here too. And then yeah, we get our transformation sequence. We get our nice little bright light around here. And Shinobu's still eating. Again, focus of the scene. Again, this is where it all goes to shit, basically. I think this is what they were talking about with the poison in episode 1, kind of. Like, Shinobu gets poisoned here, which is bad, basically. She's operating at less than she normally does. So another decision here is that instead of going to save Sengoku, whatever that means, he goes to save Shinobu immediately. That's another tick that, hey, I'm not that important to Araragi, and that, fuels the downward spiral. And then, yeah, I love the hair here. It's almost CG on the movement. Let me see if I can get some of it here. Yeah, a little bit in it, right? Just a little bit. It's very interesting. And then she yells out Koyomi Oni-chan a bunch of times and stabs him. I still think there's some stuff with the name and respect, if you know what I mean. Tears coming out of her eyes as she stabs the man of his dreams, the boy that she loves to death. Oh, almost to death. Yelling, me too, remember me too, Even though I love you. Okay, so you can make the argument that this face here, a little bit goofy. I don't know. It's a tough argument because I don't really want to make it because I think it works even if it does look a little bit goofy. One thing I do love here is that we skip straight after what we saw at the start of the episode, or the start of the arc, I should say. I love that we're just jumping straight in. It respects the audience. We don't need to see the same thing twice. We know what happens from here. It even says so through the dialogue, and so the story returns to the beginning. Again, talking to the audience a little bit here. Welcome back, was it fun? I'm alone, I'm overwhelmingly alone. And then talks to Kuchinawa-san, who we now know was kind of herself the entire time. What kind of story was this in the end, anyway? So here's the thing, right? Nadeko is a character that would never be deserving of a story, So she had to make a delusion of one herself to make what she was doing even interesting in the slightest. I think that's the meta aspect. So while she was doing this heinously evil thing behind Araragi's back, she was deluding herself into thinking that she was the victim. Through this little story, through this little meta narrative, based on what we've seen so far of the other girls, she wrote something similar for herself in her own head. Kind of. It's a mindfuck, basically. I don't quite know how to explain it, but I think that's what's going on. This aberration called Kuchinawa-san is a god that was revived just several hours ago when I ate that talisman. He didn't exist but within my heart. She sees a reflection of herself through the blood of Araragi as well. A little bit chilling. Aberrations, even gods, don't exist but within each individual in the first place. Okay, this is talking a little bit to our law system as well about perception. So again, there's this whole thing about aberrations that if you have knowledge about them, then you see them, then it's like, that's how they explain it basically. That's why so many people all around town are being constantly terrified by these different things. It takes on some different interpretations when we see Shinobu literally, ruin Japan, or even the world, right? But at least that's what this is getting at emotionally, at least Monogatari, I think, that, again, it's all within ourselves, right? These outward manifestations of horror and monstrosity. So she accidentally created the aberration Kuchinawa-san because she needed a god to solve her problem, or something like that. And then Augie gave her the fuel. Again, it's all very, I'm going to say it's confusing a lot because I'm still breaking it down, right? It's that whole thing, that whole Monogatari thing of what is real, what is fake, what's part of the embellishment of the story, what actually happened, how much of it is perspective. Lots of different directions we could take it, analysis-wise. These words struck deep. What an amazing delusion. Some subtle stuff here with the directional light, which is fun too. Again, heavenly, almost angel-like lighting around her. She's ascended in a way. I don't quite understand. I think I'm Joan of Arc, right? She thinks that she's an angel. She thinks that she's fighting for the side of good. She thinks that she's a hero, right? But she isn't. Something in that? I don't know. I think I'm Joan of Arc. I'm not Joan of Arc. I think I am. Is that something to do with it? Why I knew by touch, even though I couldn't see inside my shoe rack due to the angle. That it was a snake, and a white one at that, has an obvious explanation. I made it up, essentially. That's a really weird detail. I guess that's why the shoe locker was so high, so that it would have been obfuscated, and it would have been an impossible angle. I don't know, weird. The reason the white snakes only appeared from airtight containers, and the reason the snake could not leave the shrine, were exceedingly simple. And in the background, we've got, no, not just a tale. This is an actual story, right? Again, it's all very clever. Don't quite know how to put it into words, but I get it, I think. Otherwise, the coherence of my delusion would have fallen apart if the snakes hadn't manifested in these airtight, weird locations where I was all alone. If somebody had just stumbled upon the shrine at the same time that she was talking with the snake wouldn't have been there, and they would have been, what are you doing? And that would have shattered the delusion for herself. Now, whenever we see a cross, it's very loaded, right? It's, Christian imagery. Again, godhood, crucifix, shining light in the background, almost angelic. Lots of stuff we could go into there for sure as well. The real Nadeko had been living a life that had no prospect of becoming a story. As one adept at escaping reality, this was your biggest escape yet. And here's where it gets kind of weird. Nadeko starts questioning things that she knew but didn't know, and that Kuchinawa told her. You knew things I didn't, huh? Impossible, just impossible. It was your delusion, so at that time I didn't possess any knowledge you didn't. You're just willingly forgetting it all, right? And now we go back through and we kind of retcon some stuff, but I still think it's cool. You know what I mean? Because there is setups for it. So this is a flashback to, and I think it's an episode in Bakemonogatari where I think it's Hanakawa and Hanakawa and Araragi at the bookstore. There's the scene where they almost kiss, I think, maybe? There's something in that, and then she gets a headache, and then she runs away. Again, now that makes a whole lot more sense for Hanakawa. But anyway, we see Nadeko in the bookstore, and I thought that that was going to become relevant at some point, and lo and behold, it did. She was in the bookstore, she was reading up on snakes and that. So thus, after reading this, you gained some specialized knowledge. Human memory knows no true oblivion. No matter how hard we try to forget, everything remains in our mind. We are not meant to forget our sins. But you did forget. So maybe you didn't interpret it as a sin. After so much, I was done running away from reality. There was no need to run away anymore either. To Kuchinawa-san, the not Nadeko's delusion really revived Kuchinawa-san. But that's why I think this conversation's utterly stupid, because the present Kuchinawa-san and I are on equal ground. He surpassed delusion and possession and became equal. He is now another part of you equal to your own you that already existed. So her body is now the god's container. This is all very, scary, actually. That's kind of crazy. And yeah, because Kuchinawa-san is me, Nadeko. Again, I think we're doing a roundabout way of saying what I've been saying the entire time, basically. So from here on out, it's something like a monologue. She's talking to herself about what has happened and why it happened, and basically explaining for the audience why certain things were the way they were. Get a little audio change here. We get red text as rain here. Like, you know? On a diagonal. We love our diagonals in Monogatari. I still don't know what the text says. I'm imagining that it's maybe just stuff from the novel. It seems like it's not random, anyway. So her delusions started around the beginning of the month before last, when she saw Araragi with the girlfriend. Saw him walking around with his girlfriend in a very amiable manner. I wonder if we'll ever see this at some point. That is the beginning for you, or rather the end. And just like that friend did to you, just like that person that got the snake charm and did the thing, you did the same thing and got jealous. You had the same idea as that friend, basically. You prayed to a god to fix this, essentially. You came to pray at the shrine anytime you had time, basically. You would come up to the shrine, pray away, and hope to God that something would change. Again, okay, we've talked about prayer a lot through the arc as well. I wish I could go back and have a look at when we actually said it, because it's very interesting now with reference to Kuchinawa-san and her godlike status and stuff. But again, talking to the lottery ticket idea from, I think it was Tsukihi again. Praying to God, buying a lottery ticket. You're not putting in the hard yards to try and steal him, because you have no chance. You have absolutely no chance. This is your only way forward, as you perceive it. She essentially tried to cheat, and I guess got her just desserts, right? In that now she has snake hair, and Araragi's almost dead. Simply praying to God, it won't work. That's how everyone likely thinks, but not you, right? Because in June, here in this shrine, you broke the magic charm placed on you by your friend. So you know that there is a way to change fate, right? You know that there's a way to break certain things using the occult, the magical, right? I want to shout out this shot of Kuchinawa-san as well, just kind of this off angle and the eyes here and here. Just always the same spots, always very good looking. I think it's very well constructed, dreamlike, like it is in her own head, kind of like sometimes what Shinobu looks like as well. See the snake body slithering up this way too. I think it's pretty cool. Even if that was the case, there'd be no meaning for me praying here, a shrine that was exhausted of its faith. We've followed the track of the energy of the shrine very thoroughly through, and the energy is well done by this point, right? It disappeared back in August. And then we get into Oshino Ogi and what she had to say. So this is the same morning? Kind of? Okay, it's weird, right? The morning of the first episode said the 31st. This then says the 30th. So I'm not quite sure what to make of it. Maybe it's two different mornings, maybe it's the same morning. I'm pretty sure it's implied to be the same morning because there's a gap where she says, it felt like I was there for a longer time, but it turns out that it was only a short conversation, and then she walks away. Turns out it was a longer conversation, and she just conveniently forgot this part to build up the delusion. And the framing of Orki here, facing away from the camera, straight shoulders, hair swaying a little bit this way. Again, like menacing, almost hero-esque, right? Menacing is the word that I would use, though. Very much so. And she tells it to her straight. That shrine doesn't have a god, you didn't know, you've basically been wasting your time, but I can clue you in on something. So that vessel, the one you want, will be in Araragi-senpai's hands by now. Guy Nezuko entrusted him with it mere months ago. I'm going to imagine this happens in August at some point. Character that knows way too much, and then Guy Nezuko over to the side, another character that knows way too much. What are you two planning? How much do you know? Like, You know what I mean? It's just weird. It's strange. It could easily grant your wish, Nadeko, if it was to be found. How to break the seal? I wouldn't know. Yes, you do. Since it's a snake god, maybe you should grab some snake slithering around and get it to swallow it whole. This is the creation of the delusion. This is the creation of Kuchinawa-san. The tasteless scrunchie was also something that you got from that high school girl. I need to go back and look at that scene. Maybe she gets the scrunchie as she then walks away. Weird. That'd be cool if that happens. It makes sense that time would fly if I was having such a deep conversation. With that as the catalyst, I had started the fabrication of a story. We see Aragi's hand slightly move there as well. So he's still alive, that's your little confirmation. Atonement for killing the snakes, even things like that were merely believable excuses for me. So none of this is real, you were willingly deluding yourself. That last scene in episode 1 takes on a whole new meaning, right? This is not you're nervous because you're guilty, right? This is you're nervous because you're still willingly creating this delusion for yourself and you're somewhat aware but somewhat unaware. Yeah, strange. One thing I'll note about Monogatari, and it's probably something I don't talk about enough, like water looks so good in this show. I'm thinking back to Kizumonogatari as well. Really good looking water. I don't know how they do it. I wish they did more with it because it does look incredible. Yeah, it's just something I've noticed throughout the series so far. So essentially creating a story to find a talisman in Koyomi Oni-chan's room. I would have liked to see her call him Araragi now they're on equal pegging a little bit more. But I guess it's just a vocal tick at this point. We see Shinobu's shoulder moving slightly here as well. She's still alive. So yeah, I made everything up. I even made up the voice. I made up everything, basically. I wasn't simply hallucinating, I was just looking away from reality. She seemingly notices that Shinobu moves here as well and proceeds to stab her some more times. And yeah, using the story I'd fabricated as a decoy, and there's our Otori, right? And then we're just breaking down a bunch of like CinemaSins tier stuff, like, how did you unlock the door? You had the key from the start, you stole it when you went to his house the first time. So you left the house to get your parents worried, they would call Suki here, you knew that Araragi would be perving on his sister and would hear this, and then go out and find you, and then bring you back to his house, and then that's when I would steal the key. Sure. I'm gonna buy it because it's cool. So she was breaking and entering, but also larceny? Whoa, she's crazy. I'm not fit to be a thief is a great line as well. I'm not fit to even steal something from somebody else, like steal a boyfriend from another girl, right? That's just not who I am. I'm not fit for this thieving thing. So I couldn't even delude myself into thinking that I could thieve something like that. Or I had to delude myself is more the point. Perhaps. The moral of the story was that we should all work by ourselves to make our wishes come true. You shouldn't rely on God. I guess that is the moral of the story. Self-made is better than wished upon, because when you wish upon, you get your just desserts. But she is kind of happy about this. And okay, so she is a god, again, all this... There's a filter around her, see the light? It's very cool, right? Again, light source is very cool too. Little lens flare. Either way, like, angelic. I'm gonna keep saying it. Godlike. She's ascended. I've been very conveniently listening or ignoring what other people say. Yes. Twisting reality and fooling myself. Love the colors here, by the way. Such a deep red. But it couldn't have been helped. It is what it is. Nothing could have been done. It couldn't have ended any other way. I think that's brought up a little bit by Senju here in a second as well. There's no way that we could have been friends. There's no way that this could have changed. This was your destiny from the start based on how you were. Victims and culprits can easily swap places. This is Shinobu talking now. She's woken up slightly. It's all about standpoint and circumstances. Yes, one person's hero is another's villain, which is another's victim, which is, yeah. The culprit and the victim are the same thing isn't something that I subscribe to. I guess everybody's problems are their own, so again, like in Monogatari so far, Senju think about Hitagi Crab, she was both the culprit and the victim. And there's something in that. I said nothing and only struck her. I was quiet, and then she says, almost fourth wally, is there anything else I don't understand yet? Yeah, big CG on the hair movement now there as well. So Araragi was just in the house, conveniently, and then saw you rummaging around in his dirty magazines? Is that what happened? That wouldn't explain why my nocturnal self was able to stay active during daylight hours. That niece pretender has one up on me. Okay. Niece pretender. So that's definitely Augie, right? Pretender. Fake. Kaiki? Real, fake, humans inherently good, inherently bad. Augie is definitely landing in the fake category, right? In that humans are inherently bad and she has to fake it to be good and she's just genuinely being real, like humans are. Again, I'm sure we'll dive into this way more. Augie seems like she has a lot of backstory left to go, for sure. like who is she? I can finally hear what that scrunchie says, kind of referencing that she didn't know that it was an aberration before, because it wasn't. And everything was her arrangement. This was all her pulling the strings. We can look back to Augie, right? Again, that whole conversation where it seems like this was her first time meeting Nadeko, but it wasn't. She was predetermined that this is where she should meet Nadeko. I silenced her, slash, 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 slash. She was talking too much sense. She was talking too much interesting stuff. We needed to silence her. Well, it doesn't matter. Let's go kill Koyomi Oni-chan. If he keeps staying alive, Koyomi Oni-chan will keep making girlfriends and lovers, and we can't have that, can we? It'd be exhausting to be heartbroken each time, still harboring these feelings for him, obviously. Of course, his girlfriend, being his girlfriend, would soon be deceased. If I mean to have an unrequited love, it'd be a whole lot more romantic if you were dead, wouldn't it? It would make for a better story, wouldn't it? For sure. Again, almost Shakespearean. Likewise, I didn't want to make more trouble for him than I already had. What? Okay, that's some twisted logic for sure. Yeah, your insanity is already at that level. Since Nadeko is an aberration, but that's Nadeko, not me. There's a separation between the two now. Alright, then time skip ahead. She was going to stab him in the middle of the night. It's now day. She's obviously still been thinking about it. Or again, that whole nighttime veneer was a whole big delusion, you know? That actually tracks. It would be more dramatic if it was nighttime and raining, but we know that it was during the day when she broke into the house, and why would it then be nighttime? So maybe it was just all the same period of time, and she was making up a lot of these elaborate shots and the holy glow around her, and that was all part of the delusion as well. And then we get a call by Senjogahara. Very interesting. It's nice to hear her voice again. She seems like she's hardly in the show. I imagine that's going to pick up now, going a little bit further into the series. She does need some more screen time. Again, not between August 21st and August 24th. She's busy during that time. She's booked out. But there's going to be other stuff. There's obviously September stuff we need to have a look at. And again, in pure Senjogahara fashion, she's very matter-of-fact about the whole thing. Is my guy still alive? So how does she know everything that's going on? I guess Aragi's just been texting her stuff the whole time. She proposes a deal for Nadeko, basically. You can kill me, so you can spare Aragi-kun, and if she's still alive, spare Shinobu too. Okay. Very, very, very interesting. So she puts herself... She very romantically puts herself above Aragi, right? Expected, but still very admirable. Also Shinobu. I guess because Shinobu is part of Aragi. Unless there's some kind of Senjogahara Shinobu bonding session that took place as well, that we are still to get to. I wondered what Senjogahara could be thinking about. I quickly stopped wondering. I didn't care. So I don't care. I'm the villain. I'm going to kill you all, right? I have all the power here. Why shouldn't I? And then, again, Senjogahara, very matter-of-fact, oh, that's a shame. I'm going to give you some advice. You should think hard about the order in which you kill those three, and that includes me. So we get our conditions, basically, for the order in which they have to die. One of which we already know, don't kill Araragi before Shinobu, because Shinobu will get all her vampire juice back and destroy you and destroy the world. We've seen that happen in Kabuki Monogatari. Clouds over the sun here as well, you know, pretty typical pathetic fallacy. This is the oncoming storm right here, coming this way. Into the series, this is our final conflict. I think this is symbolizing, right? So let me break this down. They must be less strong separated, Shinobu and Araragi, than Shinobu was at full strength. I thought the implication was that there was some not equal share of the power, but there's the same amount of power there, so that they would be equally as strong together, right? I guess that's not the case. I mean, original Kiss Shot was basically playing with Araragi back in the day because she wanted him to kill her, but she also wanted it to be realistic. Again, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in Kizu. So that's really, really good advice from Senjogahara. I wonder why she's doing this. And then before that, you should kill me first and foremost, because I will kill everybody if Araragi dies. I will not only kill you, I'll kill everybody. On her, like, yandere shit. I don't take the venting of my anger lightly. Again, Senjukara is pretty strong, but I don't know if she could take out Snake Nadeko. She's pretty good. Love the rainbow here, as she gets asked the question of one more favor from Senjukahara. You must listen to the general populace's wishes because you are now the god of that shrine. I'll listen, but no more. So essentially, Senjukahara is becoming affable by giving her some information and then asking for a little bit of bargaining as a result. I think that works. So we have the clouds in the background approaching, but also this nice, like, after the rain, rainbow effect on everything as well. It's pretty cool. Reminds me a lot of Gaia Nezuko. Gaia Nezuko is associated with rainbows, at least to me. So 6 more months is what she agrees to by the end. It shouldn't matter if your intent to kill is true. The time shouldn't matter, right? And there it is. There's the kicker. Graduation in 6 months. I want to make it to graduation, then I'm happy to die by the end of that, right? We're moving into the real world. Again, there's this whole Japanese cultural thing about the end of your schooling being the end of your life. I think that's a little bit dramatic. Again, I don't work in Japan. It could be pretty brutal out there for sure. But yeah, this is a common theme in a lot of anime, right? That's why a lot of them end at graduation. A lot of your school-based ones. And in my head, I think this is building up to the climax of the series. I don't know if it is Monogatari complete. I have no clue as to if it is. Oh, I love the voice acting here. It's very schoolgirl. It's very almost sadistic. Alright then, I'll wait for 6 months. After that cold and callous kind of laugh. Like, you have all the power, sure, I'll grant you this wish. She sounds almost like Kuchinawa-san in a way. So after graduation, come straight to the shrine. I'll kill you all in that order. So in the meantime, refrain from holding hands and such with Koyomi Oni-chan until that point. If that isn't half killing a snake as well. Talking to, hey, like, what's the point in living if I can't do this stuff anyway? And then there's this part. I originally fell for it. Under different circumstances, we could have been friends, where in reality, no, there's no chance. And the clouds roll in, the rain rolls in, and we see, I guess, Sengoku reaping what she sowed in a way. And then that's when we bring back the same look as we had before, the same, like, very dramatic scene. She leans back into the delusion. And we get this creepy smile. She's proud of what she's done, and we lead into the ED. So up to that point, extremely cool. Loved it. And now we get a little post-credit scene, which is extremely interesting. So the way I think this plays out, let me just do this and get to this screen. 24. No time skip, sorry. No spoilers either. Isn't the story over anyway? So this arc is over. This is basically like, I'm interpreting this as, within Nadeko's head, this is her dream as to what would happen, right? You know? Just adding to this, like, in Nadeko's head right now, none of this matters. She already won. You know, she gained relevance. She's part of the story. She is an eternally important part now to Araragi, where she was an afterthought before. This is her ideal, and her kind of reveling in her own victory. We get a fully built-up shrine. Sengoku Nadeko has become a god. That's all. This story could have ended with that one line. Again, talking to the audience a little bit, this is a story, very aware of that. So instead of an epilogue, I'll give you an episode preview to wrap up. Get a very dramatic movie countdown, very old style, black and white, almost like no sound movie type vibe here. A lot of film grain on it, a lot of film artifacts. Bigger black bars as well, very cinematic. This shot here just drips cinema, basically. This is like a dramatic, like hero shot. So it's weird, right? She's interpreting herself as the villain in a very pulpy movie setting that's also framed like a hero. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is her ultimate dream. This is her having fun. This is her fantasizing about what this will be like. I will be the dramatic movie villain. They will be the heroes, and I will win. I will win in the end. They step on the snake skin. You can clearly see my face from the front. My eyes were fixed on what was in front of me. I had no intention of hiding. She ties her hair in a ponytail, thumbs up for the ponytail, but it's also thematically relevant as well. I've removed the bangs completely, all of the hair actually, I've pulled it completely back. This is me, this is what I always was. This was the day that I said farewell to my human self. I want to have this kind of resolve while waiting for them. And everybody showed up, the whole gang is here, ready to die. But also Kambaro and Hanakawa are here as well, just for shits and gigs. I guess that would come along. That would be the entire cast. Come on, we're missing a bunch of people. That isn't the entire cast. And then we get this very, like, almost shonen music playing, like, in the background as they prepare to fight. There's no way I'd lose. And the final battle could begin with this signature phrase from me, I couldn't wish for anything more. Turns the entire temple into snakes like an ultimate ability. Welcome Koyomi Oni-chan, I'll show you some love. Great. So cheesy, love it. And then she proceeds just to murder, like, everybody. And that's where the romantic comedy would start, the final showdown in all sorts of ways. And coming soon, as expected from Akami, which is God. It's a pun, basically. Shout out to Nisio Sin. And yeah, back to my other format. I don't know if that worked very well. The pen was kind of cumbersome, I don't know if you noticed. So maybe if there's a better alternative for a Blackboard-ish software that I could use to write on the screen, that would be good. Any recommendations there? Any teachers in the audience? That would be appreciated. But yeah, I think the full screen worked better either way, because my reaction isn't important in that part of the video. Anyway, that's all inside baseball. What did I think of the episode on retrospect? Yeah, it's a lot more coherent now that I've put it all together. Kind of my criticism from the very start of today's segment is gone. I thought it was a lot more impactful. I thought a lot more happened than I thought it did. I thought it was like first 5 minutes we find out that she changes, then she talks for 15, then the Senjo stuff. And essentially that's what happens, but the way they structure it and the reveal of information makes it all the more satisfying. Like, that episode flew by for me even on this second watch. I think that's a good sign. All in all, Augi's weird. I don't know what the deal with Augie is. Nadeko's now a god. I think there's a time limit on the series around graduation, which is cool. We need to do a lot of stuff before graduation that's very important. What else? Araragi and Shinobu are apparently going to be fine. Senju Kahara is a good human bargainer. What else do we learn? Yeah, Nadeko now is interesting, which is her ultimate goal. She won, basically, is my point. And yeah, all in all, it's just well put together. I broke down some shots, which was nice. Just, yeah, flows well. Really interesting, both outside of the text and inside the text. What is delusion? What is perspective? What is all this stuff? What am I trying to get out of life? And how am I going to get there? Those are the themes of Otorimonogatari. And yeah, I think it stands as one of the best arcs in the series so far, in that now that I've broken it down and understand it a little bit better, I think it's really cool. So, onward and upward. What's my next one even called? Onimonogatari. I know Oni is like demon, right? Because Oni is like brother, but like Oni, it's demon, I think. So we'll see where that goes. That'll be somewhat interesting, I think. Hanamonogatari after this stuff again. I don't know, it's very weird. I don't quite know how it's all going to be structured yet. But that's what makes it cool. Told out of order. That's its charm, baby. That's why I got the timeline. So next week, those 2 episodes, and finally just going to hit my shill stuff one more time. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation, comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you would like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join the Discord, discuss Monogatari, suggest new shows to react to on the channel, and all sorts of other stuff. It's popping off lately, which is cool. And yeah, thanks for watching today, and I'll catch you again for more Monogatari next week. See you there, same Monogatari day, same Monogatari time. Alright, I'll catch you guys later.